I'm Jake and I can't skate, and normally I post more than one video in a week, but it's been a bit crazy. Oh, not in terms of hockey or the Flames, but just around here. In fact, it's that quiet nature of the off-season that we're gonna be talking about today. My goodness, has this off-season been the definition of taking care of your own business. And for the most part, I'm going to argue today that's excellent news. Oh, not if you're a new YouTube channel trying to grow your community, because there just isn't that much to talk about. But on the plus side, there's not that much to talk about. By which I mean, there's no drama. Nobody wants out of Calgary anymore. In fact, the very fact we're spending most of the summer signing our own guys is testament to that fact. People want to stay. Now that guys like Martin Pospisil are here, they want to stay here. They want to play here. And that's gonna be great for the culture we're growing, and great for the young guys to be around and to stay around, because they're gonna want to stay too. We're gonna be able to use guys like Reshny and Potter and grow them, because the Calgary Flames organization isn't a tire fire as it was after Johnny and Chucky left. This is exactly the environment the Flames need to build a contender. Now, just because I view this offseason as mostly a positive, are there things I wish had already been accomplished this summer? Like a Rasmus Anderson trade, or a Dustin Wolf extension, or Connor Zary signing? Absolutely. Now, I believe all three of those things will happen. That's right. I'm not backing down off the Rasmus thing. I still believe that trade is coming, and coming before the season starts. I know many of you will think I'm crazy given that we're into the first week of August and it hasn't happened yet, but the off-season's a long time, as we're all seeing now, and I just don't believe this is gonna drag into training camp. If it does, I will obviously admit I was wrong, because I've been saying since the finals ended with you guys that there will be a Rasmus trade. So I will freely eat that if we go into the season with Rasmus Anderson still on the team. I also believe the Wolf and Zary extension and re-signing will both get done. Well, Zary has to get done during the summer, but Wolf, as I said in the Wolf video, the ball is in his court. He can bet on himself here and hope he has an even better season and drives that number even higher than it is right now. But I'm still hoping that Craig does everything possible to get that extension in place now. The other, I guess, slight disappointment I've had with this offseason is we're not using that cap space. Again, like most things we're going to talk about today, this is a two-sided coin. We are not using that cap space on overpriced veterans in the free agent market or roster filler that'll logjam up young players in the system. I believe after training camp, we're gonna see lines that look much different than some of the line projections I've seen so far. Just because we have so many guys on one-way contracts, some of those young guys pushing up out of the minors, the Solovyovs, the Hanzeks, players like that will be pushing the lower end of this lineup to be just as good as them. Otherwise, we're gonna have guys on waivers going to the Wranglers, which isn't a bad thing. We have options now. People complain about asset management, sure, but I'd rather have more guys than less able and contributing to this team. But it also means that we haven't used our cap space as a asset to acquire more draft picks. And with the draft that seems like it's coming up, that would have been, if I was the GM, one of the priorities during this offseason, taking on a bad contract, even if we had to stuff it in the minors, or use LTIR while it still exists for one season, and fudge a little bit, just to get that extra draft cap. We haven't done that. That's not to say we won't do it. The 2 slots for retention are also still available. So the options, the tools are still there. After the years that we've had, I will take a quiet, slow burn of a build over taking drastic steps to win right now at a time when that might not be very possible without wrecking our future. Of course, this will be cold comfort to those who want a more complete version of the rebuild to happen. I know I've talked to several of you on Twitter who want to see Coleman, who want to see Anderson, who want to see Kadri off the team before training camp starts. I completely understand your position, and I've said before I don't agree with it, because whether it's likely you're going to win or not, you always play to win the game. However, that does not mean you won't eventually get your way. If we see regression this year, those players will likely be trade candidates later in the season. You will get your trade capital. Now, I personally am of the opinion that bringing back the same roster, or roughly the same roster, we've lost some old roster filler, and obviously Dan Vladar's gone as the backup goalie, but essentially it looks like about 80% of the roster will be returning. I believe that this will be a playoff team because we have the best goalie in the world. And that doesn't necessarily take us out of the McKenna sweepstakes either. The Flames can be good and still get a high pick this year. Yes, it's dependent on a team like Vegas being bad, but this is why we play the games. You don't know that that's not gonna happen. If I was to put a bottom line on this, it would be that having that same roster makeup, essentially, with more youth, even more, will result in a playoff appearance or regression and a high draft pick. I believe that this quiet, boring, take care of your own house first, as bad as it is for a new fledgling YouTube channel, will be ultimately tremendously beneficial for this hockey club. Go Flames.